She's 25, a black CEO's daughter, clutching a $5,000 first-class ticket yet a flight attendant's sneer. "You don't belong here," shatters her dignity before a packed cabin. Zoey Harper's privilege crumbles under raw prejudice, her dream flight to Seattle now a battlefield. But a mysterious stranger watches, pen in hand, as karma boards this plane. Will justice rise above the clouds? Stay glued to see how one woman's stand sparks a revolution. Drop a like if you've faced unfair judgment. Let's fight back together. In the heart of Chicago, where the wind weaves dreams through towering spires, a young woman stands at her penthouse window. Zoey Harper, just 25, gazes over Lake Michigan's shimmering expanse. Her reflection, framed by dawn's gentle glow, holds a quiet strength. A Northwestern MBA, earned with relentless resolve, hangs proudly on her wall, flanked by awards that whisper of her triumphs in technology's vast frontier. This is no ordinary morning. Today, Zoey prepares to carry her vision westward, to Seattle, where a single presentation could light the way for thousands. Her ambition, a beacon in the city's pulse, beats with purpose. Zoey moves through her morning ritual with grace, each action a note in a symphony of determination. She sips coffee, rich and warm, from a local roaster, its aroma curling like a promise of clarity. Her phone hums softly on the counter. A message from her father, Victor Harper, founder of Harper Tech, a $2 billion empire. "My dear Zoey," he writes, "your courage will reshape the world today. Shine brightly." His words, tender yet steadfast, anchor her. Victor, a titan of industry, has been her guide since childhood, teaching her that privilege is not a shield, but a tool to forge paths for others. At Harper Tech, Zoey leads a bold initiative, a $5 million endeavor to train 5,000 young souls from marginalized corners in the art of coding. It's a dream born of her own journey, a tapestry woven from countless hours mentoring youth in Chicago's shadowed streets. Her office, alive with sketches of algorithms and community blueprints, reflects her heart-to-heart that seeks not just success, but significance. As she slips into a tailored Navy suit, her phone rings. It's Lena, her dearest friend, a community organizer whose voice carries the weight of truth. "Zoey," Lena says, her tone soft but firm, "your brilliance burns bright, but the world's prejudice doesn't bow to degrees. Stay vigilant." Zoey pauses, her fingers brushing her suit's lapel. Lena's words, like a distant storm's rumble, stir a flicker of unease. She knows the truth they hold. Despite her achievements, the world has often met her with skepticism, seeing her skin before her spirit. Yet, she pushes the thought aside, her resolve a river cutting through stone. "I hear you, Lena," she replies, her voice steady. "But today, I'm ready to make waves." Their conversation ends with a shared laugh, a moment of warmth before Zoey turns to her task. She reviews her presentation slides, each one a step toward a future where opportunity knows no bounds. The stakes are high. In Seattle, Zoey will pitch her initiative to a council of tech giants, a chance to secure partnerships that could transform lives. She's invested heart and mind in this vision, backing up her slides on 3 devices, a testament to her meticulous nature. To ensure focus, she's chosen a $5,000 first-class ticket for the 4-hour flight, a rare indulgence for the solitude it promises. As she adjusts her hair, pinning her curls with care, she envisions the boardroom, her voice rising like a melody of change. This is her moment, her chance to honor her father's legacy and her own dreams. Her phone buzzes again, a text from her driver. "Miss Harper, I'm downstairs. Ready when you are." Zoey gathers her leather briefcase, its weight a reminder of the responsibility she carries. She takes one last look at her penthouse, where sunlight dances on the hardwood, a silent blessing for the journey ahead. The elevator descends, and she steps into the bustling energy of Chicago's morning. The city, alive with the hum of taxis and the chatter of commuters, feels like a chorus cheering her on. Her driver, a kind-eyed man named Thomas, opens the car door. "Big day, Miss Harper?" he asks, his smile warm. "The biggest," she replies, her eyes sparkling with resolve. As the car glides through Chicago's arteries, Zoey reviews her notes, her mind a canvas of strategy and hope. The skyline recedes, but its spirit travels with her, a reminder of home's enduring embrace. O'Hare Airport looms, a gateway to her destiny. She steps from the car, her heels clicking with purpose, unaware of the storm gathering on the horizon, the injustice that awaits, hinted at in that fleeting moment aboard the plane, is a shadow she cannot yet see. Her heart, full of ambition's fire, carries her forward, blind to the prejudice that will soon test her soul. This city, this morning, this woman, they are the prelude to a tale of courage and confrontation. Zoey Harper, with her dreams as vast as the lake she loves, is poised to soar. But the skies, like life, hold turbulence unforeseen. Will her vision withstand the winds of bias? Will her privilege prove a bridge or a barrier? The answers lie ahead, in the cabin of a plane where justice and karma prepare to meet. Before diving into the story, please clearly state your city or country of residence in the comments section. Your feedback is the driving force for our development. Best wishes. From Asia. From the vibrant pulse of Chicago's streets, Zoey Harper steps into the sleek expanse of O'Hare Airport, her heart alight with purpose. The terminal hums, a symphony of hurried footsteps and rolling suitcases, as she strides toward her gate. Her first-class ticket, a rare sanctuary for the flight to Seattle, promises solitude to refine her vision. Yet, as she boards Horizon Airlines, a shadow looms, a shadow cast by prejudice, ready to test her resolve. The jet bridge stretches before her, a corridor to destiny. Zoey enters, the cabin's opulence greeting her with plush seats and soft lighting. A haven for the privileged. A flight attendant, Jamal Brooks, offers a smile as warm as a hearth's glow. "Welcome aboard, Miss Harper. Seat 12B is ready," he says. His voice, a gentle wave. Zoey nods, gratitude in her eyes, and settles into her seat, the leather briefcase resting like a trusted ally. She breathes deeply, the promise of productivity settling over her like morning dew. But the air shifts, a chill slicing through the warmth. Another flight attendant, Karen Walsh, hovers near the galley. Her eyes, sharp as winter's edge, fix on Zoey, narrowing with disdain. "Here we go again," Karen mutters, her breath barely audible hiss to a colleague. The words, though soft, cut through the cabin's hum, a venomous prelude to the storm ahead. Zoey's fingers pause on her tablet, a flicker of unease stirring within her. She's felt this gaze before, the judgment that sees her not as a visionary, but as an intruder in a space deemed unfit for her. Karen's hostility unfolds, a slow poison seeping into the air. She glides past, serving other passengers with honeyed smiles and attentive care. A white businessman receives a pillow. A silver-haired woman, a glass of sparkling water, each gesture draped in courtesy. Yet, when Zoey raises a hand for a simple pillow, Karen's eyes slide over her as if she were a ghost. Unseen, unworthy. Zoey presses the call button, its soft chime a plea for acknowledgement. Silence answers, heavy, deliberate. Her jaw tightens, resilience rising like a tide against a stubborn shore. The tension escalates. 30 minutes into the flight, as the plane cruises through clouds like dreams through time, Karen approaches Zoey's seat. Her voice, sharp and cold as a January's dawn, rings out, loud enough for nearby passengers to turn their heads. "Miss Harper, there's an issue with your ticket." A system glitch, it seems. Zoey's heart quickens, but her composure holds firm. "I checked in without issue," she replies, her tone steady, producing her boarding pass clear as crystal. "Seat 3B, first class." Karen's lips curl into a thin smile, devoid of warmth. "We'll need to verify this further," she insists, her words a blade cloaked in procedure. The cabin grows still, the air thick with curiosity. A distinguished gentleman, seated across the aisle, his suit impeccable as a tailored dream, watches silently. Known only as Mr. Robert, he scribbles in a leather-bound journal, his pen stroke deliberate, as if capturing the scene's very soul. His presence, a mystery wrapped in quiet authority, stirs a spark of intrigue. Zoey's eyes flicker toward him, sensing an ally perhaps in this stranger's gaze. But Karen's voice snaps her back. "I'm just following protocol," Karen says, her tone dripping with false innocence, as she's been trained for decades to uphold an unspoken CODIA code that reeks of bias. The confrontation intensifies. Karen leans closer, her voice rising for the audience of passengers. The system shows a different seat assignment. She declares, though Zoey's past proves otherwise. Zoey's pulse quickens, anger simmering beneath her calm. "This is my assigned seat," she states, her voice a lighthouse in a storm, unwavering. Karen's smile hardens, a mask of authority. "We'll see about that. Security's just a call away." The threat lands like a stone. Heavy, cold, final. Nearby, a woman in pearls shifts uncomfortably, while a young executive glances away, unwilling to meet Zoey's eyes. Zoey's mind races, her father's words echoing. Privilege is a tool, not a shield. She feels the weight of every stare, each one a thread in a tapestry of judgment. Yet, she holds her ground, her dignity a fortress. Karen's prejudice, rooted in a legacy of unwritten rules, is no mere mistake, it's a system, a shadow cast by decades of training that labeled passengers like Zoey as misfits in first class. Zoey overhears Karen's whisper to Jamal in the galley, her voice low but piercing. "First class has standards, you know." The words, a coded slur, confirm what Zoey dreads. This is no glitch, but a deliberate act of exclusion. The moment teeters on a knife's edge. Zoey's resolve, like a flame in the wind, flickers but does not falter. She senses the cabin's eyes upon her, some curious, some indifferent, a few tinged with pity. "Mr." Robert's pen pauses, his gaze sharpening, as if he sees not just Zoey but the injustice itself. The plane hums onward, a vessel of dreams now tainted by division. What began as a flight of ambition has become a battleground where prejudice and principle collide. Will Zoey's stand ignite a spark, or will Karen's power prevail? Karen's next move looms, a gathering storm on the horizon. The cabin, once a sanctuary, now pulses with tension, a prelude to a reckoning. Zoey Harper, her heart a crucible of courage, braces for what comes next, unaware that the stranger across the aisle holds a key to justice, a key that could unlock a revolution. Feeling Zoey's heat? How's your health holding up today? Drop a comment with your vibe, and let's see justice unfold. The air in the first-class cabin crackles with tension, a storm unleashed by Karen Walsh's prejudice. Zoey Harper, steadfast in her rightful seat, faces a chilling ultimatum: move or face security. Her resolve, a beacon against the gathering dark, holds firm, but the weight of every staring eye presses down. The plane, soaring at 30,000 feet, becomes a stage where dignity and discrimination clash, and the next act is about to unfold. Karen's voice, sharp as a blade, cuts through the hum of the engines. "I've called security, Miss Harper. Gather your belongings." The words land like a thunderclap, silencing the cabin. Zoey's heart pounds, a drumbeat of defiance, but her face remains a mask of composure. She rises, her leather briefcase clutched tightly, a shield against the storm. Karen's smirk, a cruel crescent, glints from the galley, a silent victory cry. Two security guards, their faces impassive, approach, their footsteps heavy as fate. "This way, ma'am," one says, his voice low, almost apologetic. Zoey nods, her chin lifted, and begins the walk of descent into humiliation's bitter embrace. The aisle stretches endlessly, a gauntlet lined with eyes. Passengers gape, some with curiosity, others with discomfort, a few with disdain. A silver-haired woman whispers to her husband, her words indistinct but sharp. A young businessman buries his face in his laptop, avoiding the scene. Zoey's heels click against the carpet, each step a defiance, yet her heart aches, a wound unseen. The walk feels like a pilgrimage through shame, her tailored blazer still stained with cola from Karen's earlier accident. a badge of her ordeal. Her mind echoes Lena's warning. The world's bias bows to no degree. Yet, she walks on, her dignity a flame that refuses to flicker. The first-class curtain parts, and Zoey enters economy, a world apart. The air grows thick, the seats cramped, the hum of voices louder. The guards lead her to row 39. A middle seat squeezed between a burly salesman and a teenage girl lost in hip-hop, pulsing through her earbuds. The salesman sighs, heaving himself up to let her pass. His impatience a palpable weight. "Sorry, miss," he mutters, though his tone suggests otherwise. Zoey slides in, her briefcase tucked beneath her feet, the tray table before her wobbling like her resolve. The teen's music leaks, a rhythmic intrusion, while the salesman's elbow claims the armrest, a silent conquest. This is no sanctuary, but a crucible. Zoey's chest tightens, the sting of humiliation raw. She feels the cabin's eyes linger, passengers from first class passing by, their glances heavy with recognition. A woman in pearls pauses, her lips pursed, as if Zoey's presence here confirms some unspoken truth. The injustice burns, a fire in her veins, yet she refuses to break. She opens her laptop, determined to work, but the tray table shakes, and the salesman's arm brushes hers, jarring her focus. Her slides, meticulously crafted for Seattle, blur on the screen, a dream deferred. She closes her eyes, breathing deeply, summoning her father's voice. Privilege is a tool, not a shield. Quote, a tap on her shoulder breaks her reverie. Across the aisle, the gentleman known as Mr. Robert, now seated in economy, offers a bottled water, his eyes kind yet piercing. "Thought you might need this," he says. His voice soft but weighted, like a stone dropped into still water. "What happened up there? It's not right." Zoey accepts the bottle, her fingers brushing his, a fleeting connection. "Thank you," she replies, her voice steady despite the ache within. Robert nods, returning to his journal, his pen moving with purpose, each stroke a mystery. His presence, a quiet enigma, stirs hope a spark in the shadow of her descent. Zoey sips the water, its coolness a brief reprieve. She tries to connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi, hoping to reach Horizon's customer service, but the signal falters, a metaphor for her isolation. After paying $15 for access, she types a message, her words measured yet firm, detailing Karen's actions. The response is a hollow echo. "We regret your inconvenience. A representative will follow up post-flight." Frustration coils within her, a serpent ready to strike, but she tamps it down. This is not the end, she tells herself. Her fight, like a river carving stone, will find its course. The salesman beside her glances at her screen, his curiosity uninvited. "Rough day, huh?" he asks, his tone casual, oblivious to her pain. Zoey angles her laptop away, her silence a wall. "Big meeting in Seattle?" he presses, undeterred. "Yes," she replies, her voice clipped, a door firmly shut. Every word feels like a battle, her energy drained by the weight of scrutiny. The teen's music pulses on, a relentless beat, while the cabin's hum grows oppressive. A chorus of indifference. Zoey's thoughts drift to her presentation, her mission to empower thousands, now a distant star in this darkened sky. Mr. Roberts' journal catches her eye again. His writing, methodical and precise, seems more than a passenger's idle musings. His suit, tailored and timeless, speaks of authority, yet his choice to sit in economy puzzles her. Is he a critic, a journalist, or something more? His earlier words, "It's not right," echo in her mind, a lifeline in this sea of shame. Zoey's suspicion grows, a seed taking root. Could he hold the key to turning this tide? The plane drones on, a vessel of dreams now tainted by division, and Zoey braces for what lies ahead. The humiliation, a bitter wine, lingers on her tongue. But Zoey's spirit remains unbroken. Karen's victory, smug and fleeting, hangs over the cabin like a storm cloud. Yet Robert's quiet presence, like a lighthouse in fog, offers a glimmer of hope. The battle is far from over. And Zoey Harper, her heart a forge of resilience, prepares to rise from this descent, unaware that justice is stirring, ready to take flight. In the cramped confines of economy class, Zoey Harper sits, a solitary flame amidst a sea of indifference. The sting of humiliation, sharp as a winter's frost, lingers in her heart, yet her spirit burns unyielding. Karen Walsh's smirk, a distant but potent wound, haunts the cabin's air. But across the aisle, Mr. Robert's quiet presence, his journal a silent witness, hints at a tide about to turn. The plane, a vessel of dreams and discord, carries Zoey toward a moment of revelation, where power will step into the fray. The hum of the engines is a steady pulse, but Zoey's thoughts churn like a storm. Her laptop, open to her Seattle presentation, flickers with purpose, yet the wobbling tray table and her neighbor's encroaching elbow mock her focus. She sips the bottled water Mr. Robert offered, its coolness a fleeting balm. Her mind replays Karen's whispered words in the galley. First class has standards. The phrase, a coded dagger, and confirms the prejudice Zoey has faced, a prejudice woven into the fabric of Horizon Airlines' unwritten rules. She resolves to act, her courage a river breaking through stone. Zoey rises, her movements deliberate, and makes her way to the lavatory, seeking a moment's solitude. As she nears the galley, voices drift through the curtain, sharp and unguarded. Karen's tone, smug as a victor's laurel, slices the air. She thought her money could buy first class? Not in my cabin. She boasts to another attendant. These types always act entitled, but I know who belongs. The words strike Zoey like a lash, raw and unfiltered. Her breath catches, anger flaring, but she holds still, a shadow in the storm. The other attendant, voice hushed, urges caution. Karen, watch it, you'll get us in trouble. But Karen scoffs, her arrogance a fortress. 25 years in, I know which passengers matter. Zoey's heart pounds, a drumbeat of resolve. She steps back, her mind racing, when a soft cough startles her. Mr. Robert stands nearby, his journal closed, his eyes meeting hers with grim understanding. He motions her to a quiet corner near an emergency exit, the plane's hum cloaking their words. Miss Harper, he begins, his voice low, resonant as a bell in fog. I believe we must speak. Zoey's suspicion, a seed planted in economy, blooms. You're not just a passenger, are you? She asks, her tone steady but probing. A flicker of surprise crosses his face, then a nod. I am David Lawson, CEO of Horizon Airlines. The revelation lands like a thunderbolt, electrifying the moment. Lawson's suit, tailored and authoritative, now speaks of power unveiled. I travel incognito, he explains, to observe my airline's heart, its service, its soul. For 6 months, I've documented patterns of bias across 40 flights. What you endured today is not singular, but systemic. Zoey's breath steadies, validation washing over her like dawn's first light. You saw everything, she says, her voice a mix of relief and resolve. Lawson nods, his gaze unwavering. Karen's actions are a symptom of a deeper malaise. I followed you to economy to witness more, and I'm appalled. The cabin seems to shrink, the world narrowing to this exchange. Lawson's journal, a ledger of truth, lies heavy in his hand. I've faced slurs myself, he confides, his voice softening. As a man of mixed heritage, I know the sting of being deemed other. Your experience demands action. Zoey's eyes search his, finding sincerity, a bridge across their shared pain. What kind of action? She asks, her heart a compass seeking justice. Lawson's expression hardens, a storm gathering, immediate and lasting. But first, we correct this wrong. He strides toward the galley, Zoey trailing, her pulse quickening. Lawson's voice, now a thunderclap, summons Karen and the purser. Miss Walsh, a word, he commands, his tone brooking no dissent. Karen emerges, her smirk faltering as she sees Lawson's authority unveiled. The purser, a nervous man named Ellis, stammers, "Sir, is there an issue?" Lawson's eyes lock on Karen. The issue is discrimination, and it ends now. He turns to Zoey. "Miss Harper, please return to your first-class seat. It's yours, indisputably." Karen's face pales, her fortress crumbling as Ellis nods, chastened. Zoey retraces her steps, the aisle no longer a gauntlet but a path to vindication. Passengers whisper, their earlier indifference replaced by awe. A woman in pearls offers a shy smile, a silent apology. A young executive nods, respect in his gaze. Zoey settles into seat 3B, her briefcase a reclaimed crown. The cabin, once a battlefield, now hums with a new energy, as if the air itself acknowledges her triumph. Jamal, the kind attendant, approaches, his smile radiant. "Welcome back, Miss Harper," he says, offering a fresh towel. "We're better with you here." Zoey nods, gratitude warming her heart. Lawson takes his seat across the aisle, his journal open once more. He leans toward Zoey, his voice low, conspiratorial. "This isn't the end, Miss Harper. I'd like to meet in Seattle over dinner to discuss a plan, a vision to transform Horizon from within." His words, a spark in the dark, ignite curiosity. "A plan?" Zoey asks, her mind alight with possibility. Lawson's smile is subtle, resolute, one that could change not just this airline, but an industry. "Will you join me?" Zoey's nod is firm. A pact, sealed in the sky. The plane soars on, the clouds beyond the window a canvas of hope. Karen, now relegated to the galley, avoids Zoey's gaze, her arrogance doused. The cabin, alive with whispers, bears witness to a shift, a moment where power stepped in, and justice took flight. Zoey's heart, once heavy with shame, now lifts, a bird breaking free. The battle, though won, is but a prelude to a greater fight, one that awaits in Seattle's twilight. What's cooking for your next meal, folks? Share your dinner plans, and let's dig into Lawson's idea. The plane touches down in Seattle, its wheels kissing the tarmac like a promise kept. Zoey Harper, restored to her first-class seat, steps off the jet bridge, her heart a tapestry of triumph and trepidation. David Lawson's invitation to dinner, a beacon of possibility, lingers in her mind. The cabin's battle, where prejudice met its match, is but a prelude to a greater challenge. Now in the city's twilight, Zoey prepares to face a vision that could redefine justice itself. The restaurant, Bella Vita, glows with old-world charm, its mahogany walls and amber lights a haven from the world's clamor. Zoey enters, her navy suit pristine, her resolve as steadfast as a lighthouse in a storm. The host, a gracious man with silver hair, greets her warmly. "Miss Harper, Mr. Lawson awaits," he says, leading her to a private alcove. Zoey's steps falter as she sees an unexpected figure at the table, Karen Walsh, no longer in her attendant's uniform, but a plain gray dress, her face etched with unease. The sight, a jolt to Zoey's heart, stirs a whirl of emotions. Anger, curiosity, and a cautious hope. Lawson rises, his presence a quiet command. "Miss Harper, thank you for coming," he says, his voice steady, resonant as a cello's note. "I hope you'll forgive the surprise, but I've asked Miss Walsh to join us briefly." Zoey nods, her composure a shield, and takes her seat. Karen's hands, clasped tightly, betray her tension, her eyes fixed on the untouched water glass before her. The air hums with unspoken words, a prelude to a reckoning. Zoey's mind flashes to the plain Karen's smirk, the cola stain, the walk to economy as she waits, her heart open to what may unfold. Lawson leans forward, his gaze encompassing both women. "Miss Harper, what happened on that flight was a wound to Horizon's soul." He begins, his words measured, heavy with responsibility. "But wounds, if tended, can heal stronger. I propose a vision not of punishment, but of transformation." He outlines a bold plan to engage Zoey in crafting a $1 million anti-racism program for Horizon's 10,000 employees, and a program to uproot bias from its core, and Miss Walsh, he adds, turning to Karen, will contribute not as a bystander, but as a voice to reveal the system's flaws. Karen's eyes lift, red-rimmed, meeting Zoey's for the first time. Lawson nods to her. Miss Walsh has something to say. Karen's voice, barely above a whisper, trembles. Miss Harper, my actions on that flight were unforgivable. I was unprofessional, disrespectful, and prejudiced. I offer no excuse, only my deepest regret. The words, though rehearsed, carry a raw edge, a crack in her armor. Zoey's heart stirs, a complex dance of pain and pity. I hear your apology, she replies, her tone even, withholding absolution but acknowledging the gesture. Lawson's voice softens, a bridge between them. Miss Walsh shared a truth that explains, though does not justify, her actions, he says. 25 years ago, flight attendants were taught to weed out those deemed unfit for first class, a code, unspoken but clear, targeting passengers of color. Karen nods, her voice halting. It was never written but passed down from veteran to rookie. We called it protecting standards, but it was wrong. I never questioned it until today. The confession, a stone dropped into still water, ripples through Zoey's soul, validating her ordeal as part of a deeper malaise. Zoey's mind races, her father's wisdom echoing. Privilege is a tool. She leans forward, her voice a steady flame. Mr. Lawson, your vision is bold, but it demands more than participation. It requires accountability. She pauses, her gaze shifting to Karen. I propose Miss Walsh work with me directly, not just as a participant, but as a partner in crafting this program. Her insight into this culture could be a key to dismantling it. The words, a leap across a chasm of distrust, stun the table. Karen's eyes widen, her breath catching. Lawson's brow lifts, intrigued. A daring choice, Miss Harper, he says, a note of admiration in his voice. Karen's voice, fragile as glass, breaks the silence. You'd work with me? After what I did? Zoey's gaze is unflinching. Not as friends, Miss Walsh, but as builders. If we're to change horizon, we must face the truth. Together. The proposal, a tightrope walked with courage, shifts the air. Lawson nods, his expression resolute. It's unconventional, but powerful. Miss Walsh, are you willing? Karen hesitates, then nods, her hands unclenching. I am, she whispers. A vow born of fear and fledgling hope. The waiter arrives, breaking the moment's wait, taking their orders with practiced ease. As he departs, Zoey sips her wine, her thoughts a tapestry of possibility and peril. Lawson's plan, a seed planted in pain, could bloom into something enduring. Yet, a shadow looms. Her phone, silenced in her purse, buzzes insistently. She glances at it, catching a glimpse of notification texts from Lena, alerts from news apps. The video of her confrontation, captured by a passenger, has ignited the internet. 5 million views and rising. Protests stir in Seattle, voices clashing over justice and retribution. Lena's text burns bright. Don't let them use you, Zoey. The warning, a distant echo of the plane's tension, stirs doubt. Is Lawson's vision genuine or a shield against scandal? Zoey pushes the thought aside, her resolve a mountain unmoved. The dinner continues, Lawson outlining logistics resources, timelines, authority, but the world outside grows louder. A storm gathering force. Karen excuses herself, her steps unsteady, leaving Zoey and Lawson to ponder the path ahead. The meal ends, and Zoey rises, her heart a crucible of hope and caution. Lawson hands her his card, his number scrawled in ink. We'll speak soon, Miss Harper, he says, his voice a promise. This is the beginning of something greater. Zoey nods, the card a talisman of change. Bella Vita's warmth fades as she steps into Seattle's cool evening. The city's lights a constellation of challenges to come. The video, the protests. The threats, they are a tide rising, threatening to swamp her vision. Yet, Zoey Harper, forged in the fire of injustice, stands ready to redefine justice, one bold step at a time. The Seattle night wraps Zoey Harper in its cool embrace as she leaves Bella Vita, David Lawson's bold vision echoing in her heart. A plan to transform Horizon Airlines, born from her pain, promises a new dawn. Yet, the world outside churns, a tempest fueled by the viral video of her humiliation. 5 million views and counting. It has ignited a firestorm, and Zoey stands at its center, her resolve a lighthouse in the gathering gale. Her hotel room at the Grand Meridian offers a fleeting sanctuary, its sleek lines and soft lighting a stark contrast to the chaos beyond. Zoey kicks off her heels, her phone ablaze with notifications, missed calls from her father, Victor Harper, urgent texts from her friend Lena, and a deluge of social media alerts. The video, a raw wound laid bare, has birthed hashtags like Flying While Black and Boycott Horizon, each a cry for justice. News headlines scream, Black executive shamed in first class. Zoey's heart sinks, a stone in a turbulent sea, as she scrolls through comments, some supportive, others venomous, questioning her right to first class, her motives, her truth. Victor's voice, urgent, breaks through on a call. "Zoey, this is spiraling," he says, his tone a fortress of concern. "The board's pushing for a $5 million lawsuit. Come home, let Horizon's lawyers handle this." His words, though loving, chafe against her resolve. "Father, I'm not running," she replies, her voice steady as a river's flow. Lawson's plan is reality, about change, not settlement. Victor sighs, a gust of doubt. "Be cautious, my dear. This storm could tarnish your name." The call ends, leaving Zoey to face the mirror, her reflection, a warrior tempered by fire. Lena's text arrives, sharp as a blade. "You're playing their game, Zoey. This is corporate whitewashing." The accusation stings, echoing the plane's humiliation, yet Zoey's heart holds firm. "Lena, it's not about forgiveness, it's about fixing the system." She texts back, her fingers trembling, but Lena's reply is swift. "Systems don't change unless you burn them down." The rift, a crack in their bond, widens, and Zoey feels the weight of isolation, a solitary peak in a storm-tossed land. The firestorm grows fiercer. Horizon stock plummets 10%, a wound to its corporate heart. 3 more passengers come forward, their stories of bias on Horizon flights mirroring Zoey's. A chorus of pain, amplified by her stand. Threats flood invile messages targeting Zoey with racial slurs, others menacing Karen Walsh, whose home address has leaked online. Lawson calls, his voice taut as a drawn bow. "Miss Harper, this is worse than I feared," he admits. "Karen's family is under guard, and my board demands her termination to quell the uproar." Zoey's breath catches. "But we agreed firing her solves nothing," she counters. Lawson's pause is heavy. "I stand with you, but we need your voice at the press conference." The press conference, set for Horizon's Seattle headquarters, looms like a crucible. Zoey's original mission, a pitch to tech giants for her coding initiative, crumbles, postponed indefinitely as companies shy from the controversy. The loss, a dagger to her dreams, sharpens her resolve. She prepares, her notes a shield, as the city outside pulses with unrest. Protesters gather, their signs a clash of ideals. End racism now versus stop the witch hunt. Zoey's phone buzzes with another alert. Karen, in hiding, has threatened to resign, her voice breaking in a message. "My children are scared. I can't do this." Zoey calls her, urgency overriding anger. "Miss Walsh, I know you're frightened," she says, her voice a bridge over troubled waters. "But running won't end this. We're building something bigger than our pain." Karen's sobs soften. "Why help me after everything?" she asks, bewildered. Zoey's reply is firm, yet kind. "This isn't about you or might, it's about ensuring no one else walks my path." Karen agrees, her voice steadier, a fragile commitment to their shared vision. The press conference dawns, a stage set for truth. Zoey and Lawson face 50 journalists, their cameras a constellation of scrutiny. Protesters' chants, "Sack her," seep through the walls. A restless tide. Lawson steps to the podium, his presence a quiet storm. Horizon Airlines failed, Miss Harper. He declares, his voice resonant, unwavering. We acknowledge racism in our actions, and we choose transformation over expediency. The room stirs, whispers rising like smoke, as he yields to Zoey. Zoey's heart races. Her words, a river carving stone. On that flight, I was judged not for my ticket, but for my spirit. She begins, her voice steady, clear as a bell's toll. Justice demands more than retribution, it demands change, like uprooting a tree to heal the soil. She outlines their plan, a comprehensive program to dismantle bias, with measurable outcomes training, policy shifts, transparency. Miss Walsh will join us, she adds, not as a scapegoat, but as a voice to expose the roots of this wrong. The announcement sparks a firestorm of questions, some sharp with skepticism. A reporter's voice cuts through. Miss Harper, are you letting Horizon off the hook? The question, a mirror to Lena's doubts, tests her resolve. Zoey leans forward, her gaze unflinching. This is the hardest hook of all, demanding a system remake itself, not hide behind a firing. We're holding Horizon to a higher standard, one that lasts. The room splits, some nod, others scowl, a microcosm of the world's divide. Lawson reinforces her, his voice a steady anchor. Miss Harper is our partner, not our shield. This is no quick fix, but a journey to justice. The conference ends, the air electric with debate. Zoey steps away, her heart a crucible of hope and doubt. The protesters' cries fade, but the world's eyes remain, some praising her courage, others branding her a corporate pawn. The path ahead, a tightrope over a chasm, demands unwavering resolve. Zoey Harper, forged in the firestorm, stands ready to face it, her vision a star guiding her through the night. The press conference's echoes fade, leaving Zoey Harper standing tall amidst a divided world. Her vision, a fragile seed planted in pain, faces a tempest of doubt and hope. Yet, as Seattle's dawn breaks, she carries forward, her heart a compass guiding her through the storm. 6 months later, Zoey boards another Horizon Airlines flight, her journey a testament to resilience, ready to witness the first blooms of change. The first-class cabin, once a battlefield, now welcomes her with quiet warmth. Zoey settles into her seat, her leather briefcase a familiar companion. The hum of the engines, a steady heartbeat, carries her back to Chicago, but her mind lingers on the months past. She has balanced her work at Harper Tech with Horizon's anti-racism program, a tightrope walk of courage and compromise. Workshops with Karen Walsh, tense yet transformative, have peeled back layers of bias. I judged colors, not hearts. Karen confessed in one session, her voice breaking like dawn through fog. Zoey's patience, a river-smoothing stone, guided her through. Progress, though slow, shines like stars in a city's night. 60% of Horizon's staff now report heightened bias awareness, a shift in the airline's soul. Customer complaints of discrimination have dropped by 30%, a quiet victory. Zoey's visits to a Chicago coding camp, part of her Harper Tech initiative, reveal young coders thriving, their dreams a spark in the city's shadows. Miss Harper, you showed us we belong, one student says, her eyes bright. The words, a balm to Zoey's heart, tie her missions together, a tapestry of change woven across skies and streets. Challenges persist, a wind against the wings. Some employees resist the training, their skepticism a stubborn root. Online trolls hurl venom, branding Zoey a sellout, but she stands firm, her resolve a mountain unmoved. Lawson's support, steadfast as an oak, secures a $1 million expansion for the program, a vote of faith in their vision. Karen, though faltering at times, grows. Her insights into the airline's culture a key to unlocking reform. I never saw it, she admitted once, how we were taught to exclude. Zoey's nod, a silent bridge, forged a path forward. A young flight attendant, Kia Bennett, approaches, her smile radiant as a summer dawn. "Miss Harper, I'm here because of you," she says, her voice soft but sure. "Your story gave me courage to apply, and the new training, it made me feel I belong." Zoey's heart lifts, a bird taking flight. Kia's presence, a living testament to change, transforms the cabin into a sanctuary of hope. The plane ascends, its climb a metaphor for Zoey's journey, not just gliding, but soaring, defying gravity's pull. The window reveals clouds, a canvas of possibility. Zoey reflects on the road traveled to humiliation, the firestorm, the vision born from pain. The work, a marathon through rugged terrain, is far from done. Yet, moments like Kia's gratitude, like the coding camp's spark, affirm the path's worth. Change, a seed nurtured with patience, is taking root, its branches reaching for a fairer sky. Zoey Harper, once cast down, now rises. Her heart a beacon for those who dare to dream. Dreaming big like Zoey? How's your sleep lately? Share your goals below and let's keep climbing. As Zoey Harper's plane soars toward Chicago, the clouds below mirror her journey, a path carved through pain, rising toward hope. From the ashes of humiliation, a vision took flight, transforming Horizon Airlines and touching lives like Kia's. Zoey's story, a river smoothing jagged stone, weaves a tapestry of resilience and reform. Her ordeal, from Karen's prejudice to the firestorm's roar, taught us enduring truths. Justice, not a fist but a hand building bridges, reshapes systems. Privilege, a spotlight, must illuminate the voiceless. Change, a marathon, demands patience. Even hardened hearts, like Karen's, can mend. Zoey's courage, a beacon in the storm, calls us to act. Reflect on your own battles with bias. How did you rise? Share your story. Learn tools to dismantle prejudice. This isn't the end, but a beginning, a call to craft a world where dignity soars free. Your voice matters. Like, subscribe, share this tale to spark hope. Let's build a fairer sky together.